What's going on, YouTube? I'll be right back. Give me just 1 second. Listen, fellas, you want to get your face wash, your skincare routine intact? I use Tiege Hanley. It's a daily face wash with an AM, PM moisturizers with instructions in the box that's very clear on how to get it together. I know this is not something common that us men do, but it's very important that we take care of our skin. On top of that, the ladies love it. Get yourself a box of Tiege Hanley. It comes in the mail, ships within a week. If you click the link in my description, you would get 40% off your first order and 20% off a lifetime. On top of that, sign up to the app and you'll get even more deals. Me, I got a special. I got the grooming kit. I was able to get my nail clippers and everything that I needed to get myself together to go outside. Tiege Hanley is the way when I tell you the perfect men's skincare routine. Get yourself a box of Tiege Hanley.
Let me read my brother's super cap because I really appreciate it. Shout out to Grown Men Talking. Already became the sponsor of tonight's show with a total of $20. Thank you for helping us keep the lights on. Grown Men Talking. Shout out to GMT. Thank you, bro.
No captivity.
GMT say, my God, no cap. It was a blessing having you on the show Sunday. Had some great feedback. Blessings. Thank you, bro, man. Hey,
no cap.
Just in case some of y'all don't know, I was on Grown Man Talking show last Sunday, and I had a blast, man. Shout out to Grown Men Talking, and shout out to his entire panel, all the ladies and all the gentlemen. I had a great show. I had a great time on his show. A lot of different opinions, very opinionated panel. Thank you for even giving me that warm embrace, GMT. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed to Grown Men Talking's channel yet, make sure y'all go subscribe to Grown Men Talking. It's an excellent brother, excellent channel.
GMT and Mingo.
Hey!
Hey, he should come on the panel. Like, he should definitely come on the
Come on
panel.
up here, sir. Come on up here. By the way, is this a love offering or is this
No,
indentured servitude?
that's my dog. Those are for minutes.
All love.
Those are definitely for minutes.
Blessed.
No, don't influence him. He can
No,
make
that's
his
my
decision.
partner. I got his vote by proxy. Ask him. You want me to call him?
What up, Grown Man Talking? I appreciate you. Let me see. Grown Man Talking. That's another show I watch. Y'all check out my man Grown Man Talking right there. If y'all can see that. That's the name of his channel. Very good channel. I watch it every day. That's I got the idea from about having a panel with more than one person on here. I saw him one day doing it. He could have women, interesting topics, what have you. So I appreciate you, Grown Man Talking.
What's going on? What is going on? You. So, we are live. We are live, and we got the ladies in the building with us tonight. Special shout out to all the beautiful ladies on the panel. I would love to get a special warm welcome to our new panelist. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. Then we're going to go through the panel, and then I'm going to go over some house. Oh, I got some audio feedback. But I'm going to go through it. We're going to go through the topic. We're going to start. I'm going to allow, you're going to introduce yourself, go through the panel, and then I'll go over housekeeping, and then we'll get started with the show because we got a good one for y'all tonight. So, Shalise, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shalise Hager Baker. I am the founder of the Profitability Lab, and I'm really just happy to be here. So thank you, Dion, for inviting me. This is just an awesome experience. I'm looking forward to the panel tonight. So a little bit about what I do at the Profitability Lab. I specialize in helping small businesses increase their profits. So whether that is finding holes in resources where you may be bleeding money to increasing sales, I specialize in upping that percentage immensely. And I would say my track record is quite well, so oh, Dion did get to see me in action, so if you have a small business and you are having any trouble, getting sales, getting people to book your services, please contact me at theprofitabilitylab.com.
Contact her.
All right.
Her track record, like she says, speaks for itself. So let's get this going, y'all. All right. Dion MUA, my beautiful wife. Talk to us. What you got going?
Well, just so everyone knows, we are on the road to 50K, guys. We are making moves. We are making strides. It's a marathon. It's not a race, but we need every one of you. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to hit that subscribe button so we can make 50K. We are on our road to 100 episodes for Open Conversations. We are doing big things over here at the Grown Men Talking show. Okay, so stay tuned to what we got going on. Again, we have Open Conversations every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Grown Women Talking every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Grown Man Trash Talking. This guy over here, this guy over here talking trash
Talking
on the
trash.
Fridays, 1:30 p.m. So sneak in during your lunch break, or maybe go into the bathroom store where you be hiding out, when you at work or whatever, and tune in. Okay, so yes, say what's going on. That's what's up.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, thank you, my love. Well, Kit, are you there, Kit? Kit, not there. All right, we go.
Kit is here, but skip me.
We're gonna
Kit
skip
is
you for
in
now.
here.
We're gonna skip you for now, and then we are gonna go to Just Justified. But before we go to Just Justified, we got an early, very, very early super chat from my guy, Blockchain Beeman. I got this 100 Blockchain with the $50 super chat. He says, shout out to Mr. and Mrs. GMT. Let's get it a go. My God, greatly. Great. I gotta give you another one. Super chat. Oh my God. Early in the and we got another super chat in the building for my man Blockchain. A $10 super chat. One more time. You said not too much horns?
Not too much on Just already, okay? We just started.
On the internet. Oh man, this is just for the love offering of Just Internet acting like it's 1998 again.
It ain't dollar.
Man, it's a little blurry.
This ain't got dollar.
We just gotta hope that Spectrum comes through for her. The Spectrum cable gods work it out for her tonight. We are gonna make it happen, right, Jess? Lord help us. So, Just Justify, please tell us what's going on your poppin' channel.
I mean, I just have a few drops. I actually was productive this week. So I had some drops. So, you know, just check it out. I got some premieres coming. And I do have a follow-up drop on Friday. I didn't record it yet, though. So hopefully we get around to it. But y'all will love it. Y'all will love it.
All right. Yo, stay in tune.
Mind your mind.
Subscribe to Mind Your Mind with Just Justify. Love it. Ash, we are working on Ash slowly but surely. She will have a YouTube channel. I promise you, y'all will know where to find her because y'all heard her talking points, especially on my Grown Men Trash Talking show. The feedback that I got from that about Ash, you will have an audience in no time as well. So what else you got going on, Ash?
Yeah, so for right now, same old, Ashley on Ice on Instagram. You know, like always, I'm just happy to be here. I love the vibes that the show gives, so you know I'm always gonna be here.
That's what's up. I love it. Love to hear it. Hey, kid, what you got going on?
Happy Tuesday, everyone. You know, Kid,
bonsoir.
You know, bonsoir and all that other good jazz. So September 15th, everyone, if you are in the Charlotte or surrounding areas, the Edible Incredible and Kid Stays Baked is doing a Bets and Blunts bus tour. A lot of people do not know that Cherokee, North Carolina, starting in September, is actually opening up their dispensary for adult use. What does that mean? That means that you do not have to have a medical card. If you have a medical card, it is just going to give you a discount. Good Jesus, everyone's calling me. If you actually check out the flyer, if you have your phone out, you can scan the code. I'll make sure I put the link up and so GMT can put it up. But we are actually going to have a really good time, guys. We've got a full bar that's going to be on the bus, like a little mini bar. We've got shot o'clock activities. We're going to take a tour of the dispensary. We're going to cut up at the casino. Brunch is included. It's going to be a really, really great time. Check out the link. Get your tickets. Again, it's not until September 15th, so you've got time. But don't wait to get your tickets because space is limited because it is a party bus, and I wanted to make sure that the event was crafted and curated for an amazing time. So, and then also just check out the website, theedibleincredible.com. If you have any eats and treats needs that include cannabis, I am your go-to, and look forward to talking to you soon.
Talk to y'all soon. Make sure y'all hit up the Edible Incredible. We got to make her a millionaire before this year ends. I keep saying that. So support. You know what I'm saying? Support. So with that being, somebody got some, like, it sounds like a car is driving in the background. There's something going on. I don't know. I hear some feedback. But with that being said, you know what? It's probably coming from you, Jess. Are you muted on the other end? There you go. It just went away. So that's you, Chelsea. That's you. It's you, Chelsea.
I'm sorry.
But it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna get this going though. I would say mute your mic, and then when you jump in, you could jump in and talk. So that way we won't get that feedback for now. Other than that, are y'all ready for the first topic? But before I get into the topic, I did want to go over some housekeeping rules. Do me a favor, y'all. Any mods that's in the chat, please make sure you guys are holding down the chat so it's respectful. We do not want to get demonetized. We want to make sure that the show continues to grow and move on. So please moderate the chat correctly and support. Support doesn't mean necessarily super chats, even though we all know that super chats helps the channel grow because YouTube takes their percentage out and they say, you know what? Let's keep pushing this channel out because it's where it's at. On top of that, make sure y'all are hitting the like button as you come in the door. Hit the like button. We need that. That thumbs up, likes are free. So, are y'all ready to get the show started, ladies?
Let's get into it.
All right, let's get it started. So, I have a great topic that we're going to get into, but before we get in there, we're going to kind of set the tone. All right?
Men get so offended when women that they did not do right by and had no intentions of doing right by decides to school one of their homeboys. And it's a valid question. It's a valid question.
What is going on? I'm not about to answer. Trip, I'm not about to answer this. I'm not about to answer this. I know, but all right.
But I also want to know. But I also.
Now what Hold on.
But I also want to know, how long should I wait to spring it on him that I want to spring?
With the homie? Okay.
I love his friend.
Surprise! All right.
I want to his friend.
All right. Fair use. So, ladies, let's get into it. Let's get it. I guess, the question would be for a man to answer that one first, right? It's kind of hard because I've been married for so long and out the game. So it's kind of like, I've been out the dating market for 14 years. But with that being said, I do understand the male perspective. Men have egos. And our egos could be very fragile at times. We don't want it to be played with. So yeah, we do feel as if the woman that we had sex with, right, that we laid down with, let's keep it YouTube friendly because this is a family show. But the ones that we do lay down with, we do want to say that you're, to some degree, ours, right? Now, it's one thing if you go and mess with another man out there that we don't know, but to mess with our friend, it's borderline vengeful. It's borderline vengeful. And that's how we look at it. So our egos do take a little hit, not even a little hit, in some cases a big hit, if you go out there and actually deal with one of our homies off the strength. Anything y'all want to talk about that? Ladies.
Why does it even matter if the video said you had no intentions of doing right by this girl, so why does it matter? I'm going to start with that. I got more to add. Why does it matter?
Because you were already ours. So I might not want to be with you, right? Because I may have wanted to be with you, then I might have realized things that I didn't like. And then I was like, you know what? This is not it. You're not it. But I still don't want to see Ray handling his business with you. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that. Yeah, Shalise, what you got to say, Shalise? I see the face.
I just found it funny, but I hate to be old school, but I do just feel like it's a little messed up. Like, it does come off a little vengeful. I'm actually shocked that I'm agreeing with a man. That I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that for the first topic. But yeah, it is a little vengeful, like, because there are so many fish in the sea. Like, unless you just live in a really small area and you can't manage to find anyone else to talk to that is not going to treat you right, like, does it have to be that person? Does it have to be their homeboy? Like, that's a choice.
Okay. And she's agreeing with a man, y'all. She's agreeing with a man. Just how you feel about
I
the
feel
topic?
Shalice,
Sorry,
it makes
Ashley.
sense. Like, it makes sense. There's so many men out there, right? And then I feel like you should definitely be vetting the people first. Like, don't be quick to smash buddy, right? Make sure you see his friends, vibe with them, right? You know, because at the end of the day, if you choosing somebody friend, then you never like that man in the first place. Because why is you even looking at his friend? You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's probably who you really wanted. Probably who you really wanted.
She should have held out until she seen everybody. She should have seen the whole lineup before she dove
Hold
in.
on, let me see the squad first, right?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Let me see the whole squad first. Jess, what's your thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, I think it's messy. It's messy. Never, you know, like a dog never. What's that saying? A dog never vomits where it sleeps, or something like that.
Oh wow!
Like that's just too messy. No, for real.
Yeah. Right.
Because it's like, okay, you know, then what if it got to the point where even y'all stop messing around, and then the guys are like they're trashing y'all together on like that craziness that y'all just went. Come on, it's just too messy. Like,
Right.
Not a
you
good
became
look.
a whole jump off because
believe it or not, man, talk. The likelihood is the friend is not going to respect you either.
Right.
So by you going over to the friend, so now we're playing into how men actually think, right? The likelihood is now you're going over to the friend, he's not going to respect you, and you're just going to be talked about. Now, if you don't care about that, that's one thing. But I know a lot of women try to preserve them. I don't know. We're in 2024. Women ain't really trying to preserve themselves like that for the most part, not all, right? But for the most part, because we're liberated. So, you know, being so liberated, it's almost like, yo, I can sleep with who I want to, and you shouldn't judge me. But unfortunately, men judge you. It is what it is.
I don't know. There are some celibacy movements going on too, though. So I wouldn't even say that 100%.
Well, they're not the ones that's keeping themselves from the homies. That's a whole different group of people. But you know, we're talking about the people that's out here like, yo, you know what? I could go with your friend. I can get your friend. If you don't want me, I'll get your friend. And those are the ones we talk about. Kit. What's your thoughts on the topic?
Oh boy, it's just Tuesday. We just be.
See you next Tuesday.
Good Jesus, y'all be doing a lot for Tuesday. I personally feel like, how do I put this? She's not really getting anything out of it. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily an opportunist, but if I'm gonna do something, I need to be the winner, right? There needs to be like a big dub, and it needs to be pointing at me and me. So what she's doing really just makes her look more like a pass around than it does any level of victorious. The way that you really get back is you get a dude that shits all over his life. You know what I'm saying? That makes him look like, I was with you? Lord, the dementia. Like, I was having problems in my life. I didn't even know I was with you. I let you breathe on me? Oh, Jesus, what was happening? So, like, for me, that's where the energy comes in. Like, if you're going to really get back. You don't get back by humping this friend, because 9 times out of 10, they just going to talk about if you know, you did that thing with your thumb that they, you know, sometimes like, you know, so conversation shouldn't necessarily be, you know, a benefactor, if that matters. Like, I need to be a benefactor. I need to win. And your friend's penis doesn't really make me win. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay. Babe, you want to read this super chat?
Yes, we have a super
God,
chat.
Chain in the building. What up, my God? With a $10 super chat. He is in the building. He is emptying the bank account, but his bank account is long, so he's not really empty. He's just shedding love. Hey, sweetheart. Read that.
So, Blockchain says it's messed up for the same reason any woman would be hurt and mad if that same man that didn't do right by her got with her best friend or sister and gave the best friend, sis, everything he never gave her.
I agree.
Right. It's a fact.
But
fact.
Then she wasn't really my best friend nor my sister, so I'm not
That
really.
part.
I'm not really. You know, you can't compete where you don't compare. So I'm not really going to be mad at someone that
part.
if you're just doing it to give her to get back. If she went with you in the first place, she was never my friend. So there's no level up. Like,
Right.
okay, well, random bitch getting a random nigga. Have fun.
But I mean, it's the same, and I think both get in their feelings. You know, like naturally, if I'm messing with you, you probably didn't really like me like that. But then I go mess with your friend, and I start treating her like, she's everything. A lot of women get jealous too. Sometimes I even see that happen even more often than not. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Dion has an Instagram. Her Instagram is Dion MUA, but that's my wife, kid's show. So I just threw that out there, my God, Kate. Thank you for watching the show.
Appreciate it.
Oh yeah. So I don't want to beat up on that topic for one reason, because I know that the main topic is going to be a little bit, you know what I mean? So,
but I mean, you did skip over me though.
Oh,
you did.
My bad.
He was too busy defending your honor, Chad.
No, prove my love.
You just gotta put it out. You just gotta put it out there. We all are.
He might have been trying to. He might have been trying to post the
interwebs. Hold up, before you go though, I got another $10 super chat from my guy. Oh man, go ahead, man.
Yes, Quint Johnson says in most cases the guy won't take her serious and just use her for sex.
There we go. And that's how that rolls. But go ahead, hun.
So I feel as though we kind of jumped the gun a bit when it came to it being a sex thing. There are some situations, I'm not saying all, but there are some situations that turn from, okay, it didn't work with the friend, but it worked with the other friend. And instead, it's not just a random hookup. It actually is a relationship. And people done Tootsie roll down the aisle, have a whole life. And it's like, hey, it didn't work for me, but it worked for them. Kudos, live your life like it's golden and go about your business. Now, when it comes to the whole, okay, I'm just casually sleeping with this person and we're kind of dating, we're seeing where it goes, and I've seen the friend group and this guy's playing in my face, but his friend is cute. And now the get back situation comes into play. Yeah, I feel like that is very immature, it's not demure, it's not mindful, it's very messy, 100%. So I do feel like those situations garner those type of responses. But I feel like if it's a situation of relationships, I think it's okay to have the conversation and say, I'm not necessarily asking for permission to pursue this other person, but I'm letting you know, like, hey, it didn't work for you guys. Maybe you were casually dating them and it didn't work, but I really care for them. I'm letting you know that I want to pursue that. How do you feel about that, friend? You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about casually hooking up. I think those situations can be different. I've seen situations where, yeah, 100%, You was being messy. You knew this person was this person's ex person, not dating. They were in a relationship, and then you hooked up with the friend. That's messy. It ain't right. Somebody gonna get punched in the face. But situations where it's like, hey, yo, this is I feel this person.
No violence. This is a family show. We don't do violence over here.
And I was agreeing, but okay.
Just saying. But people that are just on some, hey, yo, I feel this person, I like them, and it didn't work for you guys. So what you think? You can have that conversation. I feel as mature adults. Because everybody ain't
it's not gonna work.
It's
not gonna
be,
work.
how did y'all even get cool enough for you to even realize that you like this person? Because if we friends, how did y'all get cool without me even knowing? Because you're not going.
I'm sorry, babe. You sound crazy.
Shady.
I'm saying after they stop dealing.
But why you still
don't matter.
That I had dealings
I'm not saying I would do it.
No, I'm just saying in general. Because that's my first.
Then don't preach it.
How you know?
I'm not preaching. I'm giving a hypothetical situation. Because situations be situating.
They do, but that's my first.
But that's rare, even if it does. It's rare.
It be happening though. It be
highly unlikely.
Now here's the thing. I'm actually gonna piggyback off of my sister just for a second, right? Now let's not act like friend groups don't. This person be talking to this one to find out information about this one. This one might be friends with the homie, might be done said something. Did anybody like what happened with this thing? It's that. So depending on how the situation, it's only messy when people aren't honest about what's going on, right? Because I personally feel like
hiding in line.
You're gonna like who you're gonna like. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's just now how you act on that. That's where it becomes whether it's messy or whether, cooler heads have prevailed. Now, you did say something interesting, Ms. Dion, sister friend. You said mature adults. Have you been on socials lately? I'm just asking because
not those socials.
Like
First things first, I'm not talking about them kinds of socials. I'm talking about the medias. I'm talking about
social
media.
The medias of the socials, guys.
We don't need you super saving Dion all night, okay? She is represented for. Don't look at her, okay? She's right.
He has to let him know she's protected.
Okay, everybody in the chats, her breath stink. Don't talk to her. Okay.
Like, my breath smell good. It smell like.
Her breath don't stink.
Look, that's what you. Look, then he goes saving her again. No, he gonna save her all night. I love it. It's okay. But my main point was. You're talking about mature adults. And unfortunately, we are dealing in a time where people don't even have enough emotional intelligence to deal with their own selves, let alone other people. So maturity and adulting is one of those things that the line is really fine. And depending on the people can be very skewed. So, that's just my 2 cents on that. But yeah, like.
Listen, the likelihood is if you guys had it in the bedroom, men talk, and it is what it is. Whether you look at it as yeah, we do. If you look at it like it's mature or not, men be like, yo, son, you really want that? Do you know what she did with me? You sure you want that? That's how men are. So,
but here's the thing, that's not mature. That sounds more like a beta blocker, though. Like. Oh, are you sure you want her? Because what she did with me,
low key hype.
We beta block.
That sounds like
guess what?
I feel like it could be so messy.
You should never want her. Because she did the Gawk 6,000 with the turn. Like
oh my goodness, the way that we are, the way that men are, right? The way that men are, we very much feel as if the woman we lay with is our woman. Period. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. And then on top of it, the other man will be insecure in his mind, like, unless he's just the type of guy that's, and more than likely, we call most of those men betas for even wanting to deal with a woman.
They just trying to see what that be like.
They're gonna be like, they're gonna be like, yo, has she done that to you yet?
No. The only time it could work is if it wasn't sex involved. if it was on some like, yo, we just had a good time, we hung out, it was cool, we went on a couple dates. I didn't like her though, her breath stink. So then now it's like, all right, you want to deal with the halitosis? That's on you, kid. I don't want no parts of that. Now we all right with that. But the moment we know you lay down.
That was a hater phrase right there, though. That was a hater phrase. You gonna be talking about halitosis and stuff.
I mean, that's medical. You gotta go some straight blood and some wash. What the hell?
No, I got my son in the building. What's up, KK? My little guy. He in the building. Not schooling. He in college, man.
Well, I'm just making sure. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta make sure.
So with that being said, let's move on to the main topic. Y'all ready for the main event, ladies?
Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Main event look ashy.
Good.
Wow. She said it needs some baby oil gel.
I need some lotions. I need some Jergens.
Lord have mercy.
Wait a minute.
And hold up, my son is dropping some bread too.
Money.
What is good, my guy? That's my.
At least somebody got some sense in this family. I like
Good job. Don't spend all your money.
Sosa's intelligent and can. I like him.
He still got some growing to do, so he doesn't really understand the men.
Oh, well,
and I'm trying to teach him. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get him to understand.
Can I read the super chat or no?
Go ahead and read this.
Okay, very good.
He's put his disclaimer out.
You know what I mean? So it says ignorant men try to bring up a woman's past off of jealousy.
He doesn't know. I'm not gonna give him nothing. You know what my son did for that?
Wow, that's crazy.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It takes a village, first of all. We're gonna embrace him and we're gonna uplift him, okay? We are not gonna do that.
He's only 18 years old.
And he got that much sense at 18 years old. I am proud.
That was hater energy.
I am very proud of him. I am proud of you, Sosa.
I'll be telling the baby his daddy's a hater a little bit. I'm just saying.
Thank you, son. Thank you, son. I love you.
That's
I
right.
love you to
Don't
death.
listen to him.
I love you to death, son. Thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna give it back to you the next time you ask me for $20. So with that being said, we are gonna continue with the show. All right. So all right. I want to set the baseline for this one. We want to get into narcissistic traits. And I personally believe the word is being used far too often, right? So with that being said, I would like to start. I'm going to start with Dion on what do you know about narcissism? What do you know about how the word is being used today? And do you agree with the way it's being used?
As far as the definition of narcissism, I believe that is a person that lacks empathy. It's all about me, very indulgent, very self-absorbed. I definitely feel like I've come across people with those type of characteristics, especially heavy on the lacks of empathy. And I do feel in this culture, there's a lot of buzzwords, and those are one of the buzzwords. I feel like a lot of the people that say narcissist don't even know how to spell it. And I'm gonna need the people to pick up a Webster's dictionary and read, okay, and find out what it means before you start using it. It's just it's really annoying when I hear it as loosely on the social medias of how people use it, because I really don't feel people truly understand what it means. But so I don't agree of how loosely it's being used. But those who know, and say it with their chest because they know. The other ones, they just piggybacking off of, I want to feel smart. It sounds like an SAT word. So that's my take on it.
Right. Mel spelled it out for us. So,
For the ones in the back.
Remember, we got spell check. Just saying. Autocorrect.
So, Chelsea, what's your thoughts on it?
Okay, so my thoughts are, unfortunately, I believe that our culture breeds narcissism in a lot of people, particularly social media. If you are constantly practicing actions that, how do I say this, make you put yourself first in all things, then ultimately that is what you will be, because everyone is just their actions. And again, like I said, I just think that is what we praise as a community. Those are the actions that we praise as society. And the only time that we look down upon it is when we're in a relationship with somebody. But we're not doing anything to stop it. We're not encouraging or putting anything on a platform, or platforming anything or anyone that is doing anything outside of that, if I'm just being honest. So
that's real. That is real. All right, Kit, let's move on to you. Your thoughts on the topic.
One thing, Dion, that you said is that you told the people to pick up a book and read. And the problem with that is that you actually have to be able to do that whole reading thing so you even know how to pick it up, and you gotta lay down, flip it, and reverse it. You got to even know where, what part of the dictionary to look in for the narcissist. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna just put that out there. Some of our people, they talk the text. So I just put that out there.
That's true.
But on the narcissism thing, I think it is egregiously overused, and it's mainly to define how they feel they've been treated by a person and the narcissistic traits, because some of them, there's like 15 of them, right, that determine you to be medically, considered a narcissist. And because they have so many of them, it's kind of like it's like any generalization, right? Or any stereotype. Oh, you fit these certain things, so you have to be this thing. And no, like Shalise was saying, you might have been programmed to, look out for self, and everything is me. And because you have that going on, and that is how you mentally, deal with things, everything is literally going to fall back to how you feel about it, how it made you want to do XYZ. And if it didn't make you feel warm and tingly or whatever, then regardless of how it affected anyone else, you decide that that's not the thing for you to do. So I think that we need to, for one, a thesaurus is a real thing. I don't know if people realize that or not, but I swear there are so many other words to come up with the words that you need for how this
They're called synonyms.
The synonyms and the onomatopoeias and all of the alliteration things that we learned in school. There's words and phrases and things that I promise, can describe how he did you or how she did you, to better put that.
Spell it.
It's spelled YOURMOMMA.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I feel very good. Okay. I graduated with honors. Okay. I can tell. Okay. So, but that's just my take on it. I think that it's just an easy word to group all of the feelings because they have a couple of them that fit that category, and they use it as a way to explain, oh, he's just narcissistic or whatever. But it goes so much deeper than that. That's what I'll say.
Okay. All right, Chess. That's the 5. Mind your mind.
Yeah.
I promise I said I was going to start calling her Mind Your Mind. because people are going over there looking for Just Justified. Go look for Mind Your Mind. Just
Mind your mind, not just justified. That's not for you.
There we go.
All right.
There we go.
No, but I love what Kit just said, because when it comes to just with people kind of overusing it and everything, and there are other ways to say it. If you are versed with narcissism, you know that you can't bringing it up often without knowing. I mean, we're keeping in mind that a lot of people don't necessarily know exactly what it really means. Then it makes no sense. So you should, if there's someone who's exhibiting toxic behaviors and all that, or behaviors that toxic is a buzzword too. That's why I was trying to find something else. But anyway, if you are exhibiting toxic behaviors, I was just saying that if you can describe it in other ways than narcissism, because any way you put it, toxic is toxic. So no, either way you put it, that's what it is. But what I do want to differentiate, because this is actually one of my things, I've done some presentations on narcissism and everything. What I do want to, and I've stated it before on the shows, narcissism personality disorder is not the same thing as having narcissistic traits. So we need to kind of keep that separate. And I think that's because everybody in mainstream media merges it together. And that's what muddies the water. So narcissistic personality disorder, that's what you need that diagnosis for. That's what you definitely, if you happen to go, because they tend to not go to get it diagnosed. If you happen to go to get diagnosed, or your wife take you or your husband take you, then that's what you're going to be diagnosed with. Now, having narcissistic traits, everyone has to some level narcissistic traits. Now, it can be very low. It's a spectrum. If you know what a spectrum is, for the ones in the back, from here to here. So you could be very low on the spectrum, or you can be very high on the spectrum, or in the mid. So sometimes you may exhibit stuff because there's certain things where it comes to its self-worth that you have to, at least, so you don't go offing yourself, I'm going to put in a nice phrase, or whatever, you have to have some kind of self-worth, some kind of, looking at yourself in some type of way. But then now there's the other end of the spectrum where it's only about you, F everybody else, throw them under the bus, who cares, the world is all about me. Let me go about this. I'm going to steal, unalive, whatever else to get what I want. And, and they have their own delusions and everything, and there are different types. There's covert, there's grandiose, there's a lot of different types. But having the traits, you can be a person who's typically healthy for the most part, but you still exhibit some traits. So you have to kind of keep that in mind when we're talking about that. So when we refer to someone as narcissistic, that's it's not helping understanding what those traits that people are exhibiting are, and talking more about that. So, I mean, as we go on, I'll talk more about it, but that I think that's a good little intro from my end.
Definitely. I'm definitely with that. Ash, what's your thoughts on the topic?
First and foremost, the word is used, it's overkill at this point. I remember at one point, everybody was going with bipolar. Everybody was bipolar. Everybody knew they were trying to diagnose with bipolar. Same thing with narcissism. You can't diagnose people with narcissism unless you're a professional, right?
Right.
So when it comes to the traits, and I do this for a living, right? So when it comes to the traits, a lot of people, everyday people, they have traits of so many different disorders: codependency, bipolar, narcissism, right?
Grandiose.
That don't mean we can just shoot from the hip and be like, oh, they're narcissistic. In today's society, from what I've seen, mostly on the internet and from my personal experience, when I hear people be like, oh, he's narcissistic, they don't be nowhere near the definition. No. They just be, who be on the show always saying Dusty? Who always say Dusty on the show? Is it Chill?
That's Chill.
They really be on Dusty. And I think Kit said it. It's because they put themselves first to you, not the world. So they're individualizing to that. Since they're not a narcissist because you wasn't the one, or because they didn't go above and beyond for you, or because they put whatever they had going before you. You're just one little person in the world. We talking about before putting themselves first before anything. Me, my ego. I deserve this. I should have been had this. Like, this is to the world. So a lot of times people really be talking about Dusties who don't even have anything to like gloat about. How are you narcissistic, but there's nothing to be proud of? Like, I be so weak, just like, how?
This is so good. This is so good because, it seems like everyone here kind of has a really good understanding of the word narcissist. And I know that I have an educated panel today, right, of women that's coming here that's going to tell it for what it really is, because that word is a buzzword and is being used reckless every day. And you ask me, it's usually used against a woman that has been hurt by a man. And Jess and I had a very good conversation about it yesterday. And when we got into it, it was like, okay, my standpoint on it was men don't want to keep buzzwords attached to us. We don't like being called toxic for every little thing we do. We don't want to be called narcissists. We don't want to say we have bipolar because you don't like me, because you're mad at me, because you spent 5 years with me and I wasn't a narcissist. Now I'm a narcissist because you don't like me no more. So I may have shown traits just like you show traits, but it doesn't make me that. I got a video to play that I'm going to break down and we can kind of go into it little by little. It's a 5-minute video, but I'm not going to play it straight through, but we can play, stop, talk, play, stop, talk. It's the first time I'm doing this, and I think this is going to be very interesting. So are y'all ready for this? Yay!
No, I will say this though before you put that on. I really feel like narcissist really came about when everyone started the trend words. Right now, the new word is demure. Most people ain't never heard it. Oh, that's the new word. Everything is demure. And before, what was it? Everything was outside of toxic. Everything is diabolical. Like I started saying deranged.
Nasty word.
Like, really waiting for people like, oh, that's so deranged. Like, oh, now that one's getting ready to be slapped off the sky.
I mean,
some of these words really wind up coming in like trend sets, and then everything winds up being that thing. Everything is
and the thing is that it can be harmful because it waters down when people actually experience it, and then or even when you're talking about, like, we need to teach them to stop overusing, because when someone is actually talking about it and really mean it, they're it's not taken seriously sometimes, because it shuts people down because after it's overused.
Right.
And it's one thing, like you use a word like demure, you use certain type of words. It's fine if it's not like to hurt someone or to make someone feel as if you're less than, or if you're crazy, or if you're whatever, right? We want to try to, if you don't like me, just don't talk to me. But don't label me something.
But you don't think men do that at times too? Like, now I feel what's been going on the men's side. I know we're going to get to it. I'm just going to literally touch on it. The buzzword of aggressive. I feel like men took that word and just wrote it into the sunset of now when you start talking a little higher, or if you're passionate, or if you
called aggressive every week.
You're aggressive. You need to relax because you're getting aggressive. And it's like, whoa, like, why does everything have to be aggressive now? You're getting too masculine now. I need you to be in your feminine. It's a lot. I feel like we having a lot of these buzzwords that people are just picking up and just.
Look, if I speak how I speak, I'm aggressive. If I don't, then I'm being passive aggressive. Like, at this point, just call me PA and call it PA. I don't care. Whatever.
Well, you're a Martian. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? It's one thing to say like a person's a narcissist that's not diagnosed with an actual thing, right? Or it's another thing to say you're being aggressive because that's an actual thing. right? You're being
But we were
aggressive.
talking about
No, it's not.
buzzwords like
No,
toxic.
If you're
not.
Like,
told,
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
a buzzword. Men been saying
But
we don't
no,
want
being
aggressive.
aggressive is not a thing, because if you talk on a topic that you're really passionate about, then you're passionate. But if I come do it, then I'm being an aggressive woman. It's not the same. Why can't I be passionate? Just
Especially
like
black
passionate?
women.
That's not aggressive.
Especially black women,
It's
because when
passion.
we do it, when we do it, it's aggression. When a Latina does it, it's spicy.
It's spicy, it's sexy. Yeah, we like that too. Yes.
Muy
The problem is the problem. No, and men do call Latin women aggressive as well. If you are around men, that's
But no
around
one calls a
Latin
man
women
aggressive for
that
being
talk-
passionate.
because because naturally we're aggressive. Most
But we not
men
allowed
are
to be
known.
passionate.
No, I think
You
the
can be
problem is that men have an issue with women being assertive. Y'all do not like assertion because y'all just immediately say that is aggressive. But being assertive on a topic does not mean being assertive and passionate does not immediately equal being aggressive. That is not the case. Aggression is the threatening of violence. Just because someone may feel like they are being they are not, let's see, mentally up to your level, which is really when it comes into like play. A lot of times they say, oh, if you feel like a woman is coming off as more like knowledgeable on a subject or, you know, what's happening in the moment, it's immediately, oh, you're being aggressive. It's like, no.
You
know what, your masculine energy.
Yeah.
Masculine has become a buzzword. Feminine has become a buzzword. I just feel like we just picked up
what
words.
men. You know what men like. If y'all
Be a
care to know
soft
what
life.
men. Because you guys want to live this soft life, right? So what men like is a woman that's more docile. We don't want a woman. It's okay. It's okay to be passionate about something and not get elevated with me, right? It's one thing if you're talking aggressively, where you're like, oh, passionately, I should say. Let's kill the buzzword, right? If you're talking passively and you're like passionately, and you're saying, oh, you know, in the Bible it says, you know, and Jesus, fine. But that's not what a lot of our sisters, and since we brought it down to black women, do when they talk to black men. It comes across, and
Violent?
most black men comes across violent, as if you would buck to me if need be. And most men do not want to deal with women like that. We want to deal with women that is able to be passionate, but in a classy, elegant way. There's different ways to do things. Just because you're passionate about something, you don't got to be loud. Just because you're
Ladies,
passionate about
we gotta be like this. I am so mad right now.
Yeah.
Mad.
You hit the nail on the head. Just
Say
like
less.
that.
I'm gonna be
Don't do
like
that
feminine,
again.
soft, passionate.
Don't do
aggressive. I
that
got you.
again.
You have to use your voice.
We just gotta start saying narcissism. We gotta stop that, okay?
Not again.
People are not narcissists. We're gonna stop.
You guys sound awesome right now. You guys sound awesome. I know the chat is in love right now.
OMG, y'all don't actually listen to that though. Most of y'all are not programmed to listen when a woman is talking in a very clear and cutesy
You are
fashion.
right.
You're
Because
not.
Our mama ain't talk to us like that. Our mama was the one that was saying, sit down, I'm gonna beat you. So we're used to our women talking to us like that.
And
It is
so
what it is.
maybe, since this seems to be like a control thing, maybe our black men need to learn.
I love your voice. You hear that
We
tone?
need to
You hear
learn
that tone? That's the tone.
to listen when someone's talking to them and like put it into action what they're hearing, instead of, you know, somebody having to elevate and get, you know, aggressive or assertive or passionate. You know, maybe y'all gotta, train yourselves to be receptive and do something.
To
like
be
take
more
action.
docile.
You know,
Because that's what docile means. Teachable.
Have you ever heard these women the way that they talk to their boyfriends in the street? And if y'all say y'all haven't, y'all capping. I gotta go get my blue cap.
Well, can I say something?
Yes.
It's disgusting, but like one, hold the woman accountable, but like two, we gotta hold the man accountable for staying there too, right? Because something about it, I'm not saying he likes it, but like he ain't walking away either. So like we gotta hold both parties accountable.
I love your tone.
You know?
I love this tone. The tone
Yeah, that's what I'm
tonight.
trying to bring in
Oh
the
my
passion, but like,
God.
you know, I'm in my soft girl era right now. You know, very cutesy, very more.
This is
you
like
know,
round
very
table
mindful,
vibes right
very
now.
I'm gonna start
Yes,
cursing
sis.
people out
Very
in my
mindful.
more softer
That's
tone.
good.
Because
That's
if I
good.
tell a motherfucker to
because
kiss
then
my
I'm a
ass
lady,
in
and I'm
this
gonna connect
tone,
myself as a
No,
he
kid.
all the
Kid,
time.
stop.
I'm a lady.
Kid, stop.
I'm a lady.
no,
No, kid.
I felt like if I'm
I'm not
cursing you
being
out in this
aggressive,
particular,
but
no, I felt like if I was to curse someone out in this tone, then maybe they could hear me a little bit better because it's coming out in a way that is not only soft but yet sensual. You already know that I do have a radio voice, and welcome to GMT, Grown Men Talking, where you can actually speak in a soft tone and then still curse them out to get your point across because you don't want to talk too high or too loud.
Yo,
We are
yo.
on this
That's
panel.
good.
We are a demure panel. We are ones that speak with
Classy based. Very
I'm loving it.
classy.
I'm loving it.
And,
I'm loving
you
it.
know,
Chat
I
is
said,
loving it. The chat is super
now,
active right now.
now I am going to use this tone. So when I have to tell a motherfucker what to do, then he'll listen to me. I'm like, excuse me, sir, you cockamamie, lying little thing, you. We're not going to do this. You know why?
Oh
Because my
my
tone is proper.
God.
I'm,
That's how you need to talk. That's how you need to talk
That's
to chick.
good. That's good.
So
Look, we
Kid,
can chill on a whole
they
nother level
hear
now.
you
We
now.
good.
They
get a better
hear you
response.
now.
They
We
hear
heard you.
me.
Yo, literally, I heard everything you just said. When y'all yell, I've been on this
It's like a
panel
magic power.
where I can't understand. Just now, about 3 of y'all was talking at the same time, and I heard everything else. But sometimes when y'all hit me with the be passionate, I don't understand nothing. So this is what I'm saying. If you give men that, we will be more receptive to what you have to say. Because yes, when as we said, another race of women talks to their man, you don't usually, for the most part, hear it come across as a disrespect, and not even another race. It could be a black sister from, let's say, the Caribbeans, who know to not, yes, Ash, to know not to buck up against a man, like she could beat a man's tail just because she knows he ain't gonna hit her back. So that's what I'm saying. When you see it all the time. I had a lovely conversation with a West Indian woman today who told me the same words, who was born in, I think, St. Kitts, raised in the culture, but the culture is different. So she comes across more feminine and docile to her man. She's not yelling and trying to buck up at him every time she gets passionate about her topics. Okay, this was supposed to be about narcissism. You guys changed the tone of the conversation. I love it though. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. What was that?
Are you going to play your video now, GMT?
going.
I would love to. I would love to watch and partake.
You'll love to watch and partake.
Whenever you're ready.
Hold on. One second. I love it. Look at Ash too. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right. Shout outs to Psych Hub. Copyright.
Narcissistic personality disorder is one of 10 personality disorders in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders published by the American Psychiatric Association. In general, a personality disorder is defined by a long-term presence of internal experiences and external behaviors that differ greatly from the norm of an individual, society, and culture. These experiences and behaviors are consistent no matter the situation, do not change much over time, and cause the individual distress. Personality disorders impact the way people think, feel, relate to others, and behave. They can negatively impact the ability to succeed at work or school and be a barrier to maintaining healthy relationships. When it comes to narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, these are some of the most notable and
You think it
defining.
was a coincidence they put a black woman up there?
Cut it out. Everybody on there black. Everybody brown.
Low sense of importance, shown by a tendency to exaggerate or brag about achievements and attempt to impress others or seem superior. A need for significant amounts of attention and admiration from others. A lack of empathy, or being unable or unwilling to consider or acknowledge the needs and feelings of other people. In addition, people may have unrealistic fantasies about or high opinions of their own status. Beauty, talent, intelligence, and ability to achieve fame, fortune, and power. They may also have an unrealistic or idealized standard for love. This could be related to a belief that they are special and of high status, so only people and organizations who are also special and high status can relate to and associate with them. People living with NPD may have a sense that they are entitled to special...
I'm going to stop it real quick. It's not that much more left. This one is only 3 minutes long. So, it brings up a good point to what Jess was saying. Pretty much all of y'all, right? There's the spectrum of it, right? And all of us, in a way, we carry traits of narcissistic traits, I should say, right? But the spectrum is usually the problem. It's who goes off the deep end of it. And those people usually get diagnosed. But I love the way that Ash put that. What Ash said earlier, Ash was like, hold up, I got to give my man a special shout out. We got no captivity in the building, my God.
What up? I was going to do the homemade.
You got to do it. You can't. Yo, kid, you something else, man. Yo,
Mango, that was too loud. That was too loud.
Well, I'm a man, so I could do that. It's aggression.
It's aggressive when you look at hands. I feel a little.
Is there a threat of violence?
Scary.
I feel threatened.
Like you said, be softer, and here I am. You're still like,
oh my.
You know,
are you upset right now?
I will.
I don't even have pearls to clutch today.
Y'all gonna let me talk. Y'all gonna let me give my man a shout out.
Let me stop.
To my man, no activity with Freezy GMT in the building. What is good? Go ahead. If you are not subscribed to No Captivity with Freezy, please go over there and subscribe ASAP. On top of that, we got another super chat in the building. My man is coming through tonight. He said, Mingo, you look a little hungry, so I'm going to take care of your grocery shopping for next month. My God, blockchain and dollar super. All right. Go ahead, babe.
So it says, no funny stuff, but if you listened to that without the context, doesn't that sound like it's describing a lot of Black women, primarily the ones that use this word all willy-nilly?
Now, that doesn't mean y'all. So
I'm just saying, no, really. It's so he associates.
Because this is the second time I saw him state something like that. What I do want to say is that it's our society nowadays, and it's not just only that was in that video, and you didn't even finish the video, so probably it's going to go in deeper. But there are other things as well that states a lot. If you look at our society a lot now, yes, the men always claim that the women are not accountable, but it's this whole society that's not accountable right now. And I'm not saying everyone, but I'm just talking, generally. So it's a whole society that's self-driven, sometimes putting all their, grandiose ideas, dreams and everything. And like going after your dream is not a problem, but it's like the ways that you will take to get to it, or what you will do to get to it to someone, and all of that comes about. And that is this whole society when you look at it in a whole. And I don't like when we separate, when you're talking about something that needs to be looked at in a whole, because it's our society that's a big issue. Yes. And I'm not saying, because them narcissistic women are vicious. Narcissistic men, vicious too. But, and they've done damage either way. So it's not something to take lightly and just start being like, have you seen the woman that nowadays? When you actually look at society, it's not just that. Don't figure it out, because we need to talk about that in a whole and get to the bottom.
I will say that it reminded me.
The world
of-
can. I'm sorry, Kid. Hold on, because there's another. You could put that last one up because the world holds men accountable. Generally speaking, yes, but you cannot be held accountable if you are not accountable. As much as people want to hold you accountable, if you don't take that accountability onto yourself, then it goes nowhere as well. So people can mention all your wrongs all you want, but if you cannot accept it and be like, yeah, you know what, you're right, then it goes nowhere.
There's no resolution. There's no growth.
I could get
Right.
with that.
I was
But-
gonna
what's
say
up?
that a lot of the traits, like when you think about super successful people, right? You think about Hollywood, you think about your multimillionaires and billionaires. A lot of the traits that they have were literally, expressed in that first like minute and a half, as far as like their drive, their want for fame and success,
Grandiose imagination.
and their grandiose, because here's the thing. I mean, and depending on how you flip the term, like you have to be almost, especially to make it in places that are of high esteem, you almost have to have a little of that because you have to be able to block everything else out. And a lot of them, like Jim Carrey, was willing to be homeless for it. You feel what I'm saying? Before he found In Living Color and got his break, and that's how he really broke into Hollywood. But it takes a little bit of, by any means necessary, I'm gonna do this, and so I feel like we have to make sure that when we're looking at it, because the lines can be very close to what is seen as passionate and determined to make it versus, I'm willing to step on everyone to get there. And we all know that we've seen situations where people have had stories about how they've been stabbed in the back, how, something was taken. We've even seen in Hollywood how we were talking about how Taraji was, she felt like, other people were taking things from her in Hollywood, like with different roles and things like that. So even to get there, you have to have a level of, I believe I'm better.
Tenacity.
A level of tenacity, a level of grit, a level that can almost look like you're a narcissist because you feel like you're better than all of these other people. You have to in order to, go and get the parts. Like, I know I'm gonna get.
Can I expound? Can I jump onto your Spirit Airlines real quick? The reason.
First things first, I'm Emirates. Okay, we are classy and fancy. Thank you.
I like that. That's
So,
good. Qatar.
Almost tried to make me raise my voice.
So why I say that? Why I saw that. You almost fell out of character. So with that, right? I have to think about myself right now. For me to build this channel the way I built it, there was a moment where and my wife don't even really know what I was dealing with mentally. So I put it out there. It's not crazy, man. It's not crazy. I was locking in, and there was moments where I like wasn't thinking about anything else. I was in that room for hours.
You don't think I know that?
I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
I was in that room for
Television.
hours. Granted, my wife is very supportive. She would bring me, my food and all of that. What's up, Tiara? Tiara is in the building. What is good?
Hey, girl.
So, she would bring me my food to the room, all of that stuff, but I locked in and I tuned everyone out. And it was like I saw nothing else but growing my YouTube channel. Because I wanted to be monetized. I wanted to make sure that this could be a means for me to provide. So I wanted it to provide to another level, I should say. So I wanted this to be a thing that was like, I need to go harder than anyone else that I know. So yeah, I could see how some people may look at that as, you're being a narcissist, but I don't agree with that. I just think I still had the love for my wife and my kids, and I didn't feel like I was above anyone else. I just worked hard. So people might look at something as a trait of narcissism, but it really could just be your work ethic that is there. That's not really because you're not excluding anyone else with the way you feel. You're actually doing it for other people.
So I have a question about that then. So we talked heavily on work ethic and that having that type of way about you when it comes to trying to achieve a goal. What about how it manifests in how you treat other people? That portion of it when it comes to narcissism, of maybe and not missing the fact that, okay, is this your personality? Like, are you just like this type of person? Like, you kind of really arrogant or really conceited or very, self-indulgent or self-absorbed, or are you a narcissist? Like,
so can I shed light on like what you just said? So let's think about it as even in terms of like a single mother. Let's say she has to work 2 jobs to make ends meet in the home, right? Now she's doing that for her kids, but in other words, the toxic part is that the time is away from her kids and they're not getting the rearing that they're supposed to get with her presence. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not condoning the, everything else, but I'm just talking about it specifically.
I wouldn't call it toxic. I just feel like that's a hard working mother.
No, it is toxic.
That's doing what
it's neglect.
Because the kids can't survive.
But I know. So here's the thing: it's unfortunate, but it's unintentional neglect. But it's still neglect. Now, in an ideal world, she could be with her kids all day and everything. So unfortunately, yes, there are some things you have to do with the foresight, like, as in to be like, okay, eventually it's going to pay off. Yes, you got to do that in a sense. But then also, if you can make a better choice, you will want to do that. So it's like some things your hands are forced, but some things, as in to say, even with, because we touched this about when we talked yesterday, even though it may have been that you were tunnel vision and all that other stuff, you did learn that, okay, because it's taking away time from my family, then you learn to schedule. You get what I'm saying? And redirect certain things to make that situation better, but it's still appeasing and you're getting your job done.
I get what you're saying, but I still would not call it toxic. When you put that word, I can't say that. And here's why I say that. Right. And I get what you're looking at, the bottom line. You're looking at the basis of it. You're not looking at what she's doing. You're looking at what's happening to the children. But
I'm not calling you toxic. I'm talking about the act.
Right.
We got to start learning about, it's not talking about the person necessarily, but the act.
Right. But then the act still is, you're saying you're moving toxic with with your children.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I feel like we want things sugar-coated too.
This world doesn't give you an option. This world doesn't give you an option.
Which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is sometimes.
Because if that mother had an option to be home with her children, she would be. The toxic trait would be you have the option, but you choose not to be around your children.
Right. I saw in the comment, it says hard work is toxic. I'm not saying hard work is toxic, but the effects of working more than spending time with your child, that effect can fester toxicity.
Let me just take care of this super chat really quick.
Sorry,
Kid, I know you wanted to talk, but let me take care of this super chat real quick. We got a $20. Oh my God, no captivity, Freezy. As I said, go over there and subscribe to my God. He says, great show discussion. Grown men talking. Growth is inevitable. 100, no cap. That's what's up, man. I greatly appreciate you, my brother. So, Kit, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say maybe I see what you're saying, Jess, but I also see what everyone else is kind of like, tapping against. I don't know if the word is toxic versus neglect, right? Because it's neglectful, right? And it could potentially it can potentially have negative ramifications. Case in point, something
A
happened,
synonym.
to the kid. Is toxic a synonym for
No,
neglect?
you said negative ramifications. A synonym.
So is negative ramifications a synonym for toxic? I didn't think that was the actual. I don't think that's that. But if it is, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think that toxic and negative ramifications are synonyms. Not saying that they can't, because then that means that we could use them interchangeably, and I don't think that's necessarily the case.
Well, I mean, sometimes
If I'm
depending
wrong, I'm
on your
wrong.
relevance. Relevance.
No, I
Sometimes
get
depending on the relevance.
So okay, so then explain to me, because and again, it might just be my interpretation of it, and that's very well the case. What are you? What is actually the toxic part? I can see the neglect part. I can see, the need to work to survive and attempt to get to a point of thriving. Right? We always talk about survival. We never really talk about what it means to actually thrive in life. Right? So I can get that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm not getting is, where is a mom? I can see it being
So
neglected.
I'm not calling the situation. That's what I was trying to clarify. I'm not calling the situation toxic necessarily. I'm talking about the outcomes that may come from it. Those
Okay,
may lead to toxic outcomes because of certain choices.
Back to the different criteria and for anything, right? Because you can have a helicopter mom who's always with their kids. That's also
Right,
that
and that's true.
And be toxic as well. So just to say, just because someone
It can be,
so
because
but that's with everything though.
So
it's
what
just
the
meeting those criteria? There's people fall under people can get hit with any type of criteria to meet that. Though.
It's true.
So
that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean that the toxic may not happen.
More than one thing for it to have the effect that you're talking about.
Okay, so I think to Jess's point, I think the problem is that we are like synonymizing toxic with intentional. And just something can be
not intentional,
toxic, but not intentional.
Right.
So it can lead you can.
Thank you.
And she's not in this case, the mother who's working 2 jobs. She's not intentionally attempting to neglect her children. Her intention with that action is to provide for them. However, the unintentional effect of that could be neglect for the children, and neglect is something that is toxic. Again, toxic is not always intentional.
Right.
Exactly.
But you see how you said the neglectful can lead to toxic? That doesn't mean that toxic and neglect are synonymous. They're not synonyms. One thing can lead to the other, but you can't use them interchangeably because that's just not how that goes.
I do agree with that, because neglect is an action. Toxic is an adjective. So when you're neglecting, you're doing an act of misuse or mishandling.
So how I looked at it was
toxic act that can lead to toxic ramifications.
So how I looked at it was that toxicity is under the umbrella. Neglect is under that toxic umbrella, as in to say AB is toxic, neglect is toxic. Things like that. Those are toxic things. Not even if it's intentional or not, there are toxic things. There are toxic happenings.
I can agree with that point.
Yeah,
I can see what you're saying. I can get.
But to me, and I could understand that as well. But I think that's a different conversation than what was originally stated. To me, what it sounded like what was originally stated was that it's toxic to neglect your child.
No.
Because you're going out to work.
And that's not what I'm talking about. And and then I think it's just sometimes what is against the ideal. Now, the ideal will be that she's there with her child as much as she wants to be and everything like that. Of course, with life happenings, you cannot control that all the time.
Well, let me ask you this, because I'm curious, right? And more in how you're placing this. You as well, Shalise, because you kind of, agree with her. So a mom who decides not to work, right? And stays home and she takes care of the kids, but whatever money or little twos and fews she's able to scrape together isn't enough to take care of her in the home. is that also seen as a toxic trait? Because then now
I didn't say trait. I didn't call
or
it trait.
toxic or
A
just toxic
happening.
or
Yeah.
toxic happening, because then now we have to start looking at this from a balancing act place, right? And not from one spectrum to the other, because if a mom stays home and she's unable to do the things, then what's leading that to toxicity? If the mom goes and works and she's unable to be there with the kids, then where does that lead? And
So
you see
okay,
what I'm saying?
so
that it makes
forgive
the
me if
other-
I'm wrong. No, forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm a proponent of marriage and things like that. So sometimes there's a balance that can happen when you have both parents in the home. That kind of helps that situation. You know, there are ideal situations. Now, of course, I'm not talking about, okay, abusive father, blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about all that stuff, because that's, you know, the toxicity sitting in even with the ideal. But the ideal with both parents in that child's life, then that kind of alleviates the toxicity coming in typically.
So
I'm not saying,
There's just so many
listen, I'm not
childcare
saying that
options
things
out
don't
there,
happen
like,
in
I feel
life and all that. I'm not knocking. I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Ash. I'm sorry.
So there's so many different places a kid could be to where it's not defined as neglect. It doesn't have to be another parent in the whole. People have nannies, au pairs, grandparents, all these different things that can look after their child, so the child's not being neglected while the mother's grounding. So,
and this is what I've always thought about toxic. but
Yes.
I think-
Okay.
Yeah, when I
repeat that. You said that's not
this
this.
at a
Wait,
nuanced situation. I think we're trying to look at a nuanced situation like it is
Like it's the norm.
Yeah. So the thing
Or-
about it is this, is that ultimately, like some
not to say the
situations
norm, but-
are like zero sum. Like you're winning at one thing, but unfortunately that is like you're kind of like losing at another. Like that's just real life. Like that's something that we have to like take into consideration. Now again, there are, you know, grandparents, aunts, uncles who are helping with these kids, and that is awesome because everyone doesn't need a village. However, statistically, we are finding out that more parents are more stressed out because they have less of a village now. So I guess we have to be, you know, as responsible, you know, community members, like let's be honest, have this honest conversation, say that we know that neglect is happening not because they are choosing to be neglectful, but because that is how that cookie has crumbled, because you do want to be able to provide a roof and give your kids like basic needs like food, lights, water. You know, you want to be able to provide those base things. However, we know that for a human to fully flourish, they need a lot more than base necessities.
Right.
I will say this. I want to know, because I know I did see a comment in this a comment in the comment section that said, you know, just kind of going back on the main topic, because all of, you know, the mom might have been hella driven, and I've seen that too, where now we can look at that level of neglect and toxicity where, you know, a parent is so driven that the kids get left in the smoke while they're still trying to pursue their careers and stuff.
And it's
a lot of-
intentional. She thinks she's doing the best.
Right, right. Because
I mean, unintentional.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
So, but just going back to the original topic, right? So, when we look at these traits of narcissists and narcissistic behaviors, are the question was, are we looking at this as, you know, just talking about the differences in narcissism and how to recognize it, or are we looking at how to actually deal if we encounter, you know, a narcissist or these traits? How do we actually deal with that and know that we're looking at that? Because again, if it hasn't been diagnosed in a person, they may not know that they have it. We don't know that they have it because we're not medical professionals, but we're just looking at the traits that they're delving out. How do we
well, kid, you know, because here's the thing, right? You can have a conversation with somebody and tell if they're not really suited to really even deal with you. Reason why I say that is because how much people you spoke with and all they could talk about is themselves. They don't even really ask you how you doing. They don't want to know nothing about you. They're not trying to figure out how your day was. They don't want to know about your family. Why would you continue a conversation with that type of person? That right there, to me, I'm not going to diagnose him a narcissist, right? But of course, as we talk traits, that's a trait. You don't really care to know how anyone else is doing but yourself. So the way we deal with people like that is to eliminate them out your life. I'm not a clinical person to just sit there and be like, yo, let me sit here and try to work you out. I don't care to work you out. I'm out. I'm out.
Well, no, I was asking that because it was actually a comment.
I saw the
in the
comment.
comments
I saw
section.
the
I ain't
comment.
gonna
It
pay
was,
for
it was an
I ain't
actual
gonna
comment. It wasn't just
I ain't
Yeah.
gonna
I was trying to
I
make
saw
sure
it.
I, recognize in the comment section.
And I feel like
that's your question.
to that comment, you have to recognize it first before you know what you're trying to repel.
Right.
But that's why. But that's what they were saying. Like, is this conversation like? Are we just looking at? Because again, I think we kind of got on this because I was talking about like just the line where determination and narcissism can kind of get blurred if you're not really sure of how you're looking at it and what you're looking for. So
And here goes Tiara. Here goes Tiara.
So, and to
Stirring
that
up the
too,
pot.
that's easier to actually point
To
out
actually
sociopaths
diagnose, yeah.
because they're usually doing, the ones
Most.
that actually do something, they're doing something crazy. But the whole thing about narcissism too, you got to think about it. A lot of people who have narcissism is more so the people that they affect that feels it the most, rather than them thinking that they have an issue. So they're not going to get it diagnosed like that. They're not going to be like, did this and this to that person today to get my way, to get to the top, and I didn't care or whatever like that. Maybe that wasn't right of me. They don't even tend to have the introspection much like that to get there, to even go and get a diagnosis.
Oh, it wasn't my problem that they felt like that. I already know that I'm amazing. It's their fault.
They project.
My amazingness. Exactly. It's a lot.
Projection is a big thing.
Honestly, I've met people that's like that too. They do not take accountability for nothing. You can't get them to see anything in their own wrongdoings. So 100%, like, those are the people you just eliminate. You would just eliminate. I'm gonna just play the video. I'm gonna continue with it. I don't want to hold you ladies here all night. So I'm gonna continue with the video, and then we gonna wrap this thing. Oh, hold up. Let me figure this out because I'm being a little slow right now. Here we go.
No edibles for you, Mingo.
Special treatment or have unrealistically high expectations of people and situations. They tend to take advantage of and even harm other people in order to get their own needs met. They may be envious of others and convinced that others are envious of them, and can come off as arrogant or haughty. No one person's experience is the same. Some people also experience anxiety and mood swings and other mental health disorders.
I got the
Those
sister
around
up there
them
with
may
the
note that their
long,
ideas
beautiful
and
hair.
needs may vary or contradict themselves. There are numerous factors that can contribute to the development of the disorder. Some that have been proposed are genetic factors, innate personality traits, and certain childhood experiences. These experiences could include abuse, rejection, or even being overly praised and admired for being special. NPD is one of the most stigmatized mental health disorders, mostly due to how the impairment of interpersonal and social skills impacts the people around them. However, it's important to remember that at the core of someone's internal experience, they may feel empty or numb, have intense feelings of shame, self-hate, or worthlessness, and immensely painful past experiences. Having the same level of respect and compassion towards those experiencing this disorder that you would have for someone experiencing any other mental illness is vital to destigmatizing this disorder and paving the path towards more people getting the care they need. People living with personality disorders can and do benefit from treatment, which can include talk therapy,
Send their ass to a therapist. I ain't got time to deal with them. I ain't got time to deal with them, and I ain't gonna tell anyone to sit there and let no one toxic be in your life. Let them figure it out with a therapist on their own.
So one thing I do want to say too, though, yes, that's easy to say, but a lot of narcissists come with a mask, and you have to kind of be careful with that. They can keep that mask up for a prolonged time, and sometimes eventually, yes, the mask falls off. But, there are certain times where they're like, going through the whole, the love bombing stage, or reeling you in and all of that. And, you're seeing them put their best face forward. So you have to be careful with that too.
And not even just that, a lot of people are intrigued by narcissists in the beginning because it's like, oh, he's so confident, and eventually that it becomes annoying.
They're very
and now they're cocky,
charismatic.
and now they're only about themselves, but the whole time they've been that way. Like they've always been that way. It's just annoying you now. Like now you're seeing it. Like it never turns off.
I love that you said that.
I want to add, can I add that I think a lot of times we only look at a mental disorder like this in a romantic relationship, but you can't
Family
you would
too.
cut them off if it
Family.
was your family, your
Work.
mom, your sister,
Work.
something like that. Like you would stand beside them while they're getting treatment for this mental health disorder. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
And I also want to point out,
I think the most. Oh, sorry, Ash.
The video said is really good point that a lot of narcissists, their ego is very fragile. Like they can't take any disappointment. They're so afraid to fail. Like that's why they put on this persona that they're so great, and that's why they're always talking about their achievements. Because like if you go underneath the surface, like there's nothing there.
They're very fragile.
And they look at a lot of things in very black and white. Like they don't really consider gray area. And that's something, so like is, even if they, in a romantic sense, and I love that you brought up that it's in other areas as well. There's work, there's friendship sometimes, there's family. It can be anyone close to you. So
Me personally, I've experienced that in friendships more than not even friendships, because I wouldn't never even call them my friends, but people that I was trying to get to know. I noticed that more in them than I noticed it with any relationship that I've ever tried to be in.
Another thing the video point out, a lot of your athletes, like these kids that are in this, like they're top tier, what do you call them, D1? Like that's like the best. All your D1 athletes, a lot of them, like their whole life they've been told and they've been put on this pedestal. So like society expects them to be able to be taken down off that, but they've never known anything else. So yes, they are narcissistic, but the world made them that way. To an extent.
I was gonna say,
and it's so funny. Oh, sorry, kid. Sorry, go ahead.
No, girl, this is your topic. Go ahead, girl. I'll come after you.
Well, I wanted to say it's kind of I work with early childhood, right? Early childhood ages, and usually in the classes that they teach us, remember back in the days where you even got like even when you do a competition, they don't even want to do competitions in the classroom anymore because they want everyone is a winner and all of that. So then, like, even with how when you think about it in reality, yes, it's nice to be like, yeah, but if you really think about that, if they cannot understand and learn how to cope with when it does not go their way, you got to kind of teach them about when they get older. That's not the route I believe. That's my opinion. I do not believe that it helps with that child in the long run.
I want to piggyback.
Get the participation trophy. That ain't the rule.
I do want to. Okay, go ahead. John.
Go ahead.
My bad. No. Grown woman talking. Y'all talking docile today. I love it.
Bro.
Y'all hear that tone?
Can I add something to what Jess was saying? I think when that graduates, I'm sorry, kid. I'm so sorry.
See, look at
graduate to adulthood. I think that I don't want anybody to come away from this conversation feeling like people who suffer from this type of mental health disorder or any type of mental health disorder does not deserve love and compassion, because I think we just get so caught up when, again, we do that buzzword thing of, oh, they're a narcissist. You got to cut them off. You got to come off. Sometimes you just need to back away and have boundaries with people, healthy boundaries. But just because somebody is suffering from something does not mean that they do not deserve love and compassion. Everybody does.
So I kind of want to agree and disagree with that.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I get hyped. I'm sorry. I kind of want to agree and disagree with that a little bit because I think generations before us, they taught us to accept and deal with it. That's family. No matter if they wronged you, that's family. No, we need to get to that point where we got to understand, even when it comes to boundaries, that sometimes it has to be there. In the psych lay terms, it has something called the gray rock method. Yes, if it's people that you have to be in contact with, because sometimes you have to be in contact with it, whether it's in work or like a coworker that you can't be like, no, I don't want them here because they're narcissists. They have narcissistic traits, and I can't deal with that. You have to deal with it, right? So unless you choose another job, so you still got a choice. But you know, if you do not have a choice, that gray rock method is okay. So how's the day today? It's nice. Oh, so where did it go? It was fine. There's ways to do it where, like, you know, you do not elaborate, you do not encourage, like, you know, going back and forth, because eventually that will encourage. So there's the gray rock method, but no contact is also encouraged. Well, I've heard a lot of psychologists encourage also no contact if it needs be. If it, like, whether even if it's family, if it's your mama that has traits that are not conducive to no contact.
Hi, Mom.
So I was just gonna say, you know, look, I'm about to go do what I do when we get off of here, mind your business. So first, I will say, I think, you know, we've forgotten about the agony of defeat, right? Because everything, if you realize like how we grew up to be more tenacious, to kind of like be a go-getter, like I'm super competitive, right? And I'll tell anybody that. And I feel like, Beyond, I feel like, you know, that as an Aries, no, nothing wrong with that at all. But what I'm saying is that it was times where I didn't win, right? And there was times that I asked, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's the problem with the whole, oh, everyone is a winner. Like, you never know how good winning feels if you've never lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels just that much better when you've had that experience, because not only do you learn from it, you grow from it. And we're stunting a lot of these kids' growth as far as how the overpraising, they can't lose anything, everyone gets a trophy. We've forgotten about healthy competition. We also you know, narcissism isn't something that you're born with. It's something that you grow into. And we're growing a lot of these kids, you know, that become adults into these things. And we really have to do better about how we're giving more intentional about how we're giving them those lessons that are needed versus, because you got to think, when we grew up, it was sticks and stones may break our bones, but words may never hurt me, right? And now it's like words are literally death. Like, you as women, right, back in the day, girl, he is so fine, I could die. Like, if he don't talk to me, oh my goodness, I wrote his number down, because, you know, we ain't have, you know, back when we had to write stuff down in the paper. Fancy folks. Look, oh my God, you know, oh my God, you said that, and the teacher heard it. They didn't think twice about, oh, well, she's just about to go die and cry in the bathroom. She'd be okay. Now, a teacher hears that she's gonna die behind little Tommy. Now, they're calling the CPA, the NBC, the FBI, the Dr. Doolittle. They calling everybody. They call the animals and everybody. So, you know, I think we've gotten away from those because those are the things that made us healthy. It made us resilient, made us be able to kind of pull our bootstraps together and deal and be in here, you know, and be able to move and thrive and learn how to thrive versus survive. With these, you understand what I'm saying? There's an art to losing, you know what I'm saying? And because if you think about it, we shown those.
It creates character.
Not
it creates
only
character when you are able to lose.
Not only does it create character, but we actually, you know, in losing, it humbles you, right? It makes you realize that anybody can, no matter how great they are. And we're taking that away from them by making everything just, everyone should be equal and everything should be happy. And there's nothing wrong, like, with, okay, racial equality. We all know everybody, we'll never have it, but we strive for it all the time, right? And this is something that's actually attainable, but we're doing it in a way, because kids have more mental issues than we ever had before. Like, adults have more, like, and here's the real kicker. Is it that we have more of it now, or is it that we've made therapy a thing that's not
stigmatize
anti-Black?
We stigmatize it.
Because, you know, exactly, because, you know, Black families, we got to keep it in-house. We ain't going to no therapy. We ain't.
And even with you touching on that, kid, I think has a lot to do with the fact that we didn't have the language. We didn't have the language and we didn't have the tools, and now we do. And that's what I
But
feel
they're not
like.
even using it right.
But I think
And I think that's the next point that I wanted to touch on is having the language and using it properly. So if you're going to use these terminologies, if you're going to use these medical terms, you need to educate yourself on what it means so you can identify it and also know how to respond to it. So
because we gotta.
I would say
because I want. Well, hold on, because it gets too far, because it's kind of touching on what both of them said. See, so how I did that? Hold on. What both of them said. I didn't mean to do the loser sign. This one, these two. Okay, so more so like we shouldn't really care about. I mean, we shouldn't stigmatize losing as much as we do, because what we should be doing, and this is, if I got a hand on some of them early childhood books. Like, it shouldn't be where we're stigmatizing losing. We should be teaching them what to do with a loss. And that's what they're running from. And then when they don't know how to cope with it, then we're like, oh my goodness, what happened to them? We should be teaching them how to deal with that loss and moving forward from that. And that's not what's being done.
Shalice, I'm about to say, I know you've been trying to get in.
It's cool. Look, because I just want
to slide on the mic. You got it.
I just want to add that
you gotta learn how to play double dutch out here.
Y'all have really, really good points. And to that, I would say when I talked about the love and compassion is having those hard boundaries, having teaching resilience to people. Like, those are things that are missing, but those that's real love. That's real compassion. If I show you that if you do XYZ to me, you no longer have access to me, that's real love. Because if I don't really love you, then I don't care how you feel. Like, I don't care what you think about my actions. I don't care. It means nothing to me. Like, I could just be like, oh, hey, da, 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 and move on. Like, I could just be fake with it. But if I really love you, then I'm really here to teach you a lesson. Like, I'm really wanting you to learn something. Learn from this. In the other words, I know Ash wanted to say something. I'm sorry they put me in front of you.
I was so timid like that at the beginning too. Look at y'all.
I want to say exactly what Dion said about using these medical terms. Everybody needs to stop using them. We don't go around and be like, ooh, it seems like you have cancer. The way you walk in is giving, you might have cancer.
It's giving emphysema. It's giving.
Right. We don't do that.
That went like doubt in the big toe.
So stop trying to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist, right? Nobody, unless you're actually licensed, should be out here diagnosing. Because at the end of the day, they're just like, oh, I Googled this and I think you're this, and you're not. At the end of the day, most of these people are not. You know what I mean? So I don't think if it's an actual diagnosis, like an actual diagnosis, nobody should be labeling anyone unless they have the credentials to do so.
Facts.
This was good.
Wow, this was good. This was productive. Ash just dropped the mic. This was a great conversation. I love all of y'all perspectives. For the first time ever. I ain't feel like pulling the little bit of hair follicles I have out.
Hold up. He did not bring the blue cap out today, guys. He did not bring that blue cap out today. Oh, everybody kiss your brain. That's what I say to my kids. Kiss your brain.
It's a little loud.
But y'all still talking loud right now. Y'all got loud. Y'all got to keep it.
Sorry. Let me dial it back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Your passions jumped out, Ash.
My apologies. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No. It was
keep in
aggression,
mind,
Kit. I cannot be aggressive.
You are talking to a man.
I'm dialing it back. I'm sorry.
All right, yo, this was a good show. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. Ladies, thank you so much for joining the show today. Much love to y'all. I'm looking forward to next week. This is going to be another one. And I want everyone in the chat, please stay in tune with what we got going on for our Sunday panel. It's going to be a dope show as well.
Mhm.
And not this Sunday, but the Sunday after, I have a special guest who went viral coming on the panel. So that is going to be a dope show. So I want y'all to stay tuned. And yes, Kit, you're gonna be on that panel because I know you. It's gonna be spicy. So with that,
He used the right. He used the right one. He used the right one.
With that being,
Oh, I
What
was
you gonna
I was going to ask if you were doing final remarks. That's it. But
y'all all did y'all final remarks. Y'all ain't hear how much y'all just finished talking.
Wow, that's crazy.
How much more talking y'all want to do?
He tried to say y'all talk too much.
You're getting a little aggressive. You're getting a little loud.
He tried to say y'all
gotta
talk too
lower
Man,
much.
I can do that.
No, you don't. You don't have to.
you a
You don't
man,
have
but you're supposed to be
to.
a gentleman. Okay?
Be
As
gentle.
I am gentle.
Be gentle on the panel, okay? I will say this: out of everything, just whoever was out there, just make sure that self-preservation is a real thing,
Mm-hmm.
and
Advocate for
especially
yourself.
when you're dealing with these different types of
Behaviors.
behaviors, you can be sucked in, and then now you're a victim of your own inability to put a boundary up. So no matter what, show love, show grace, but remember that you can't save someone without your own air mask on first. So
That's true. I love that.
Right.
That's very true.
And drop the mic on that one. Quietly. Wait. We gotta drop the mic quietly on that one.
Quietly,
A nice soft,
man.
gentle
Jesus
drop.
Christ, yo, y'all gotta put
It's gonna drop slowly.
Yeah. So I'm talking about. This was a great show, ladies. This was a great show. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Also, thank you so much for the super chat. All the super chats, I should say.
Shout out,
And no, I'm not taking away from anyone else, but my son, my middle son, gave a super
What?
chat that
Cut it
warmed
out.
my heart.
And it was the best you had. Best one of the
As I
night.
said, don't
It was
worry,
the
son.
best one
I
of
would
the
give
night.
you $20 back the next time you need it. I love you, son.
Look, college
Trust me when I.
expensive.
You know what I'm saying? It is.
Look,
So,
college
with that
expensive.
being said, stay in tune with everything Grown Man Talking. We got a lot going on. We are growing. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers. I am stuck at this 41,000 crazy spot that I can't claw myself out of. So I need you guys to share this content to everyone you know. Let's get the word out there so that way people
Can I add
can
something real
actually
quick?
come to these dope comments.
I know I don't want to talk too much. Look how soft I said it. Look
I
how
was
soft
about
I
to
said
end
it.
the whole show,
You see, I
but
said-
go ahead.
Girl, you sound a real Brooklyn
Real
right
quick,
there.
I'm sorry.
Look how soft I
sorry.
fit it.
No, but I do want to do a quick direct. On my channel, there's a video called The N-Word that kind of shows examples of narcissism. So I thought it was fitting for this topic.
That
Just,
is
you know,
fitting. That
to
is
see a little examples of some of the phrases that are around narcissism.
Right,
So
so make
that's
sure
what I
y'all
got.
go and subscribe to Mind Your Mind with Just Justified. And
Shout out
it's the
to
W,
Justin
not the
and
whole
Goat
thing.
on the
Can I get the horn for that one? Hold on, wait. Let me say my name first. Hold on. Mind Your Mind with Just Justified. That'd be cute though. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, please have a great night. And I will see y'all on the next one. All right? Peace.
running out. I'm living in a blinded town, am I running out of time? Feel like a drug when I'm talking to you. Slow drip, trying to play it cool. Nothing to do, let's drive to the ocean. Get high, lay on the beach. White water running down my feet. Make love and repeat, I don't ever want to stay all night to see the sunrise. It's way too soon to be calling me baby, but it feels so right against the moonlight. Deep sea diving head first, don't save me. Is there something I can say to make you wanna stay with me? Is there something I can say to make you wanna stay with me? To make you wanna stay